And then the big one, Saul Alvarez, Daniel Jacobs. Can Jacobs win? Can he win? He could win. With a subtle mix of boxing and brawling, you know what I mean? Counter punching and leading. I think we will see a representation of today's mindset in boxing. Not really only in boxing, but you know, in boxing especially. It's a constant weighing out of risk and reward, and that carries into the fight, you know. A fighter is mentally in a weird place going into it, you know what I mean? He wants to win. In his mind he's doing his best, you know, to win. While listening to a game plan maybe, trying to follow instructions. I heard the trainer of Daniel Jacobs predicting a Danny Jacobs win by decision. I'm picking Saul Canelo Alvarez by decision. It might even end in a late stoppage, man. Then he might get caught, man, with all that IBF weigh-in regulation, rehydration limit and all that type of shit. Nothing above 170 I heard or something. Then he's a big boy, you know what I mean? He said he was sluggish in the Triple G fight. He didn't look sluggish, but he knows best, I guess. And he attributed it to the immense rehydration. I don't know anything about weight cutting and shit, man. But I'd say if it's not like the sanctioning body making these rules, you know, then it has to be the promoters, right, Golden Boy? And if they put something like that in there, and if Jacob's team agreed, I guess about that IBF belt, man. I remember Jacobs, he skipped that IBF day of the fight weigh-in or that shit, you know what I mean? He said, fuck it, I'm not fighting for that belt, man. It's about beating Triple G. Came in with the weight advantage, man, and they talk also a lot about, like, the trainer and Jacobs about the size being a big factor, yeah? So, how does he really rate his own chances of winning, like, as far as from a skills perspective? Is he giving that away, you know? Is he already saying, Canelo's the better fighter, man, but I'm gonna bully this dude. Margarito him, you know? Size over skill? I don't know how that's gonna work out. But really what I think, man, if he's gonna hold himself to that regulation, to the IBF regulation, I guess, if it's an IBF regulation, or that weight restriction, if that's gonna be the case, because he looked a little sucked in at the weigh-in, you know, in comparison also to Canelo, who we've seen, especially at 155, Canelo weight, looking a little sucked in, you know what I mean? Even at 154 and 152 and all that stuff, you know what I mean? But he looked pretty healthy, you know. Jacobs though. We'll see how that works out, man. But I think if he has a good rehydration, that will help him as far as absorbing punches. But regardless how much size he will put on, I don't think his tactics will reflect that, man. I think they've seen that Mayweather and Lara had success boxing Canelo, Trout, you know. He will underperform, man. He will try to play it cute, be negative, come up short on the scorecards. He will do enough for hardcore fans, I guess, of his, to say he was robbed on the cards and whatever. But I think we're gonna see a Lara-esque performance. And I think that actually what also bit him in the ass against Triple G at times, you know. He was a little too much on the bike, too not even pot shot, he was like, he was slapping a lot, you know what I mean? As much as people say like his size is gonna be a factor and that he also can pop, Dan Jacobs is he has become kind of a slapper, man. Maybe he always was a slapper, but I've seen him sit down on his punches a little bit more in the past, you know, but he has become a slapper. It's funny, man, actually the way he also got Peter Quillen out of there, it was kind of slappy, you know, but he has fast hands, he throws in combinations when he throws and throws to the body, so I'd like to see that if he can do that. But then again, maybe all that southpaw stuff, maybe we'll fight southpaw and try to be too spoily, you know. Although I don't really see that in Dan Jacobs. The guy, you know, I don't want to accuse him of running against Triple G, because that's not what he was doing, you know. He was fighting a great fighter against Triple G. I think he won. But you gotta get your tactics right against Canelo. And I think he will try to be more defensively sound against Canelo. I know this sounds crazy because Triple G has this stigma of a big puncher, but Canelo is probably the defensively more responsible, and he has a counter punching ability that the Triple G doesn't have. So you gotta kind of mind your P's and Q's as far as like overstepping your boundaries offensively, you know. So I'm thinking it's gonna be more of a chess match, you know, dictated by Danny. Canelo, he's good enough landing little counter shots, you know, working the body. I see Canelo working the body over time, early, you know, slowing down Danny. We're gonna see how that works out though, you know what I mean? I think the same reason why he got that Erislandy Lara win, why he got that Cotto win, you know? We see dudes try to do that shit, like, not effectively against Canelo. Lara did it effectively, but then again, it was so negative that nobody was angry that the motherfucker got dropped, you know what I mean? Yeah, even Rigon though, like, when he was fucking completely outboxing Nonito Donaire, he was putting that hurt on him, you know? And even in making him miss, he was styling on him, you know what I mean? You gotta make a show out of it. It is entertainment, and that at times will sway the judges, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. I see Canelo winning. Decision. Dan Jacob has the talent to win this fight, you know? But I think he gotta go in there with the approach like, I want to stop Canelo, you know? Not I must stop him, but I want to stop him. I heard him already talk about like he's gonna have opportunities even after this fight. This isn't his last chance, even if he loses against Canelo. Like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear that shit. This is the chance, man. There's no tomorrow, really. That should be the approach. You gotta go in there and knock this motherfucker out, man. Knock the freckles off this fool. You know? I'm rooting for Dan Jacobs, but I'm picking Canelo. Yeah. Thanks for listening. Peace out.
During this thrilling, furious battle, I found my mind wandering for split seconds, wondering, could Zale and Graciano have been this good? Could Rocky have been this good when they were just making it up and winging it and landing the kind of punches you know they never land in a real fight because fighters can't take those kinds of punches. In this fight, they did. It was one of those rare spectacles where two fighters went out to impose their wills and their strength on each other and to take risk, to risk everything, to win everything. That's why those of us who like boxing like it. We wait for these kinds of events when people at the top level give everything they have. And what we saw tonight will be stamped indelibly, and for a generation to come, I think it will be a yardstick of fighting at its most furious and thrilling.
Yoo-hoo! Canelo Jacobs. I have it 115-113 for Canelo. And I'm questioning my own scorecard. I gave a bunch of rounds to Jacobs, man, that I'm not sure of. 7 through 10 I gave to Jacobs. I gave him the 4th. You know, there were a bunch of swing rounds here. I'm kind of disappointed in Jacobs, man. I think he could have done more, you know. I think he was holding his shots because he couldn't really find a target early. Canelo looked really good defensively. Really, he was outboxing Jacobs coming forward for the first half of the fight at least, you know. Second half, Jacobs tried a little bit more. Then again, not enough. There was more to do for him. He obviously could take the punches of Canelo. I think his frame has a lot to do with it. In the 9th round, he hits Canelo with like the biggest shot of the fight, and he doesn't do anything for the rest of the round. And Canelo doesn't do anything either, you know? Canelo didn't throw a punch after that big shot. So Jacobs won the round in my mind. 115-113, first scorecard. 116-112 second. Oh, I missed the first one. Fuck. Yep. Canelo. You can now tell Canelo's fighting bigger dudes, you know what I mean? I think he kind of gassed Like these rounds Jacobs won, man, I think Canelo gassed a little bit. Like in the fourth round, man, Canelo, he doesn't really throw punches like the last 2 minutes, man. But his upper body movement, man, he was making Jacobs miss so much, man. Standing right in front of him, trying to throw like pity-patter jabs. Missing them though, you know what I mean? He made Jacobs doubt his punches. Canelo was going to the body from early on. Jacobs wasn't going to the body, so that kind of bit him in the ass. I think he could have come on even stronger if he went at least to the body early, you know? You could tell kind of that Canelo is the more experienced of the two, fought higher level of competition consistently, you know. I think Alvarez is the deserving winner. A little bit of a disappointing fight. My scorecard could have been a lot wider for Canelo. I was generous to Jacobs. Was it a close fight? Could have Jacobs done more? Did Canelo gas? You know, a lot of questions. Demetrius Andrade, is he going to be a challenge for Canelo? I think so. A southpaw that is actually pretty aggressive, goes to the body himself. Underrated puncher. Very slick though. Canelo, man, all freckles. 28 years old, man, 150-1. These Mexicans, when they start early. Good stuff. Alright, I'm gonna listen to the post-fight interviews. Decent fight. Peace out.